New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this. And that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
What's up, everyone? This is the Tin Man with the Resistance.
And I'm Lucid.
And this is, well, it should be your weekly report, but we're just going to do a straight to video.
Tin Man, you need a light?
Yes. Thank you.
Anyways, we got kind of a cool little thing going on here. We're actually going to try.
That actually lit really well.
We're actually going to try to get away from being quote-unquote robots and reading from articles. We were just having a discussion about that and how we're going to actually start setting up more of a radio show than a, read from articles, give us your opinion type thing. I feel our debates go better when we do that, don't you?
Yeah, plus, if we do go radio, we can take things so much further. There's only so much we can do in an hour video, and people on radio, they can listen to it in their cars, they can listen to it on their phones, they can go about their business, do whatever. They don't have to sit there and have to watch the fucking video. So I'm actually going to move into that, but
for now we're just going to kind of make it like a radio setting, only we're going to do it with video, because this is as much as we can do at this particular point in time.
Yeah, what we're doing here today, we're not doing the whole weekly report thing. We're not doing the stories or any of that shit. This is just going to be a straight upload to YouTube because my computer's a worthless piece of shit.
Well, I keep telling you could use my computer. For some reason, this fool has a bias or racism against my computer.
Because even though my computer's a piece of shit, it runs faster than yours.
Actually, I thought that was the case, but now that I switched over to Google Chrome, it was the browser, not the computer itself. So my computer actually runs pretty easy.
I'll tinker with it.
Tinkle? You'll tinkle with it?
Yeah, I'll tinkle on your computer. Just whip out my giant dick and fucking piss on it.
So what are your definitions of giant?
Well, it's definitely not a cheese wheel that's like this long with this big around.
Yeah, but using a magnifying glass doesn't necessarily constitute as giant.
Who said anything about a magnifying glass?
Well, why is there one sitting in my office?
I don't know. It's your office.
I know. I just magically appeared one day. I saw it hanging out in here on the dresser for a minute.
Probably because you put it out here, because I don't own a magnifying glass, so explain that one away.
Actually, my magnifying glass is used for determining the sex in plants. But anyway.
There you go.
I'm a plant pervert.
Yeah. Moving on. Speaking of plants and the earth, apparently the earth is supposed to be fucked on September 23rd.
Yeah, that's what we're going to go into discussing today is the 923 thing that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
We did a lot of research last week based on this stuff. I mean, we just stumbled across it. So, I mean, if we hadn't seen the videos that were posted and stuff like that, we wouldn't have really even known about it. Supposedly in 2013 is when this all started. This lady had a dream about the president and the current pope meeting up at an undisclosed location, and
it was all chaos.
And yeah, stuff like that. Needless to say, the Pope on September 23rd, I think is the date that he's supposed to be coming over, is going to be having a meeting with President Obama. So
yeah.
we got that correlation straightened out as far as what's going to be happening on September 23rd. Also, Illuminati card deck. There's like 5 or 6 cards that stress the 923 on it. I mean, we have movies, Deep Impact. We have what was the other movie? We have Deep Impact. We have
It's quite a
number 23. You know, I mean, that all show 923 in the movies. We even have The Simpsons with a countdown clock for the Rapture, and how his how Flanders' gas meter or electric meter stops at 923.
Yeah.
You can look all these up on YouTube to see the actual episodes and stuff like that of what we're talking about. They're not very hard to find, so we're not even going to bother posting them. You just type in September 23rd on YouTube or in the basic search engine, it brings up all kinds of shit.
Yeah, this is kind of an introductory discussion to our roundtable discussion, which we'll be hosting this next weekend, a week from today. So, everybody who wants to participate in that, get your shit ready. Connor!
Hey, I have a couple things to say to Connor. Hey, dude, I know you got a family. That always comes first, brother. I know you got a job, and I'm sure you're pretty busy with that. I don't know what all that entails about mating alligators or whatever it is you're doing, crocodiles or whatever.
Fucking alligators?
No, he's mating them, I guess. He's breeding them.
With alligators?
He's breeding them. I don't know how all that entails or what the case may be on you being on call or whatever.
Yeah.
But we need you here, man. We got stuff going on. I mean, we're not stagnant or anything. We got a lot of things to talk about and discuss, but it'd be nice to see the...
No, that brings me to a point, dude. Go ahead and finish your
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw a post of his a while back, kind of ranting about the Connor thing, that the John Connor aspect has kind of destroyed and consumed his life. Doesn't seem really adamant about it, and I can understand that. Everybody has their breaking points, but you know what? You got to remain strong, bro. And if you feel it's time to pass the torch, then pass the torch.
And not just that, if you feel it's destroyed your life and whatnot and whatever, you need to remember that it's not about the John Connor thing. It's not about the fact that you are the quote unquote leader. It's more about getting people to see a point. It's about touching them on a level that they understand, rather than just coming out and saying, "Oh, the government's chaos, government's bullshit." You start talking about resistance. You start talking about standing up against the tyranny and the bad things that are going on in the government and the world today. And people are not as apt to listen to some random person just rambling on, but you start saying like John Connor, and you start saying T-1000s, you start saying Anonymous, you start saying stuff like that. People are more apt to listen. Bitch, you burnt me.
I know.
You start saying stuff like that, then people are more apt to listen, because a lot of people are quote unquote Terminator fans. People are more apt to listen to something that they're familiar with, rather than just some random ramblings of some random guy talking about this bullshit government, Yeah. So stay strong, brother. I mean, I know that you got a lot going on. You got a job and family, and you're far away from your family. Your kids are on one side of Canada, you're on the other. I know you got a lot of shit going on. You have to make flights. You have to,
You got a lot to do.
Yeah, we understand, but we need you here, man.
Don't lose your fucking faith in what
you're doing.
In what you're doing in your cause. Yeah, it gets overwhelming and shit gets crazy. But you know what? It's going to get even crazier as time goes on. And, if it's bad now because you're acting, imagine what will happen and how bad it's going to be when you don't act. I mean, shit's going to get bad regardless, so you might as well stand up and fight. I mean, if you're going to die...
Do me a favor, Tim, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you put your cigarette down to the side so that way I don't get burnt again? Thanks.
Yeah, just keep up a good fight, and if you feel that your time has come to pass the torch, pass the torch.
And on the same token, you don't have to stop completely. Just do it on your own time, type of thing. You got Tinman here who's willing and ready to take up that torch and handle business, and you got me to take Tinman's place. So I mean, you got kind of a chain of command going on here, guys, or Connor, and we have it all organized and ready to make things happen if you can't do it anymore, or if you feel like your time's up.
Yeah.
Not saying anything derogatory, in any means, dude. We love you to death, bro. But it is what it is, and we understand. You got shit you got to handle, even if you got to take just a little break. I mean, we just got off of a 3-month break,
Yeah.
If you got to take a little break and gather your thoughts and figure out how everything's going to be going in your life, handle your business, dog. We got you. We got this shit. We can still stay in contact, and you can do your videos on your own time when you get the chance. And I mean, it wouldn't be much different than what's kind of going on already, other than the fact that we haven't seen you. So
yeah. Exactly.
Anyway.
It is what it is.
Yeah, the 923 thing now.
Yeah. 923, September 23rd. There's a lot of speculation as to what might happen. Alex Jones has touched base on this a little bit, saying that he's been confronted by people saying, hey, why haven't you gotten out of the country? Shit's going to pop off in the fall. There's a lot of mystery as to what is actually going to happen. Is it going to be another terrorist event? Is it going to be a cataclysmic world event? Is it going to be an event of biblical proportions?
And see,
what's going to happen.
And that's exactly what we're touching on here today, guys, is that, okay, from my research, okay, and my speculation, is that 923 is just another 9/11. It's basically, they're dropping hints in everything, just like they did with 9/11. I mean, you saw the Johnny Bravo thing that we did on the roundtable discussion. You saw the Simpsons memes and all the cartoon cutouts that Wolf shared with us in the roundtable discussion about 9/11. You saw the $20 bill, how you fold it a certain way. It shows the trade towers and the Pentagon.
Yeah, we see all this shit.
Okay, so. But it didn't surface till afterwards, and all the conspiracy didn't come about till afterwards. And what we're seeing right now is that people are awake enough to start noticing these little changes and differences in movies, and subliminal messaging and whatnot. I mean, that's what people are into nowadays. They look for the meaning behind the meaning. And basically, my opinion on the whole thing is that it's not going to be a religious, biblical event where Christ is going to come and, all this stuff. Because first off, in the Bible it says, thou not know the time or day of that I come. So, and that's not necessarily word for word. I just kind of put the these and thous in there just to make it sound better.
Yeah, no one knows the time in which he comes.
Right. So, we have that. Okay, so that already kind of tweaks the end of days thing as far as the biblical proportions are concerned, because of that one statement in the Bible.
Well, we've even looked up in the Bible, any possible relation to 923, the 9th book,
23rd chapter, the 9th book, 23rd chapter in Revelation.
Verse.
Yeah, 15th verse.
We've done it all. We scoured it.
We even did it backwards. We did the 15th chapter, the 23rd verse, the 9th, or the 23rd.
We've done it every which way, and not just with the Bible, but with other scriptures as well. We fucking really go deep into this shit, and there's really nothing of relevance.
I mean, if you really look for it, maybe there is a little relevance, but it's so obscure that it doesn't make any sense. So, as far as the biblical thing is concerned, I'd have to say that that's pretty much nixed. As far as the conspiracy that there's going to be an extinction level event of catastrophic proportions, where it's going to extinguish most of, if not all, life on
this miserable little
dirtball. We're talking about a comet that's 2.5 miles wide.
Yeah, that's been one of the speculations. But here's the thing. If that thing's going to hit by September 23rd, don't you think we'd see it by now?
I don't know.
There should be some telltale signs of this thing coming.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, who knows? We may not see it for 2 weeks before the 23rd. Or
that's a distinct possibility.
You know what's really fucking funny about the number 23? Okay, my son's due date is August 23rd. which is a month before September 23rd, which is supposed to be the end of days or what have you. This catastrophic
That's a
event.
short-lived life.
And not just that it's a short-lived life, but it's kind of ironic. You know, God does shit like that to me all the time. But
yeah, he can't seem to kill me.
But
car flips over 4 feet from me. Come on, you can't hit me. And just in case anybody's wondering what that's all about, last week I was crossing the street and one SUV T-boned another, and the one SUV landed literally 4 feet from me. Seriously. That's fucking crazy shit.
as Jim Carrey said, gave him the wrong coordinates.
Yeah, God's blessings are just raining down upon me. Wait, that's not rain! Anyway, I digress. But back to the whole fucking comet thing. You know, there's some points that I really want to bring up about this. You know, Alex Jones is saying all these people are leaving the country. Okay, well, does that mean that the comet's going to hit the United States?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who actually has that information? I mean, if you guys could find that information, that'd be great.
I mean,
I'd like
yeah,
to know where it's going to hit.
You can calculate the
Roundabouts.
where it's going to fucking hit.
But if it's an
regardless of where it
extinction
hits-
level event, it's still going to kill you.
Yeah. Well,
See, me personally, I hope it drops on my house while I'm sleeping. Because, although, my luck, it'll kill everybody that I love and know, and I'll be alive.
yeah,
But,
it'll be my luck. It doesn't hit anywhere near me, and I will be affected by it in the least little bit. And it's just gonna be like, come on, you can't even hit me with a 2.5 mile wide comet.
I like how you make this about you.
It's always about me. I got that big of an ego.
There's your problem. Here's your sign.
Yep, there you go, right? But in all actuality, you know, why leave the country if it's going to be a fucking world-ending event? I mean, yeah, you hear all this shit about the globalists have these underground bunkers and shit that they're going to hide in, which would explain why they haven't invested any research into destroying this comet. I mean, come on. We've been exploring the possibility of this scenario for decades. I mean, you can invest a little bit of money into research to prevent the world that you want to control from ending.
Why would they prevent a natural disaster of such magnitude, though? If they want to kill off the 90% or the 99%, and the globalist elites want to stay alive, you know, that's a natural thing they don't have to pay for. That
kind of raises another question. If this is going to happen, and they've known this is going to happen, why go through all the effort for this New World Order agenda and all this shit if life on this miserable little dirt ball is going to end, except for them who are hiding in their fucking caves?
What are they going to have to rule over?
Yeah, I mean, everything is going to be wiped out. All the work that you've done prior is going to be
mean nothing. Yeah, it's going to mean
meaningless.
nothing.
And here's a point I want to bring up. You know, yeah, they can run and hide in their little bunkers. But what happens when this fucking comet hits? It could fucking cause a dust cloud that would rain over this fucking planet
For years.
for decades even,
yeah.
possibly even centuries, killing all life on this planet.
Well,
plants
all you would
and
need,
animals.
all you would need is a couple of weeks of dust, and it would kill everything because it would blot out the sun. It would cause the oxygen levels to lower in the planet's atmosphere.
Yeah, they'd eventually die.
Yeah, they would eventually die anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you have some type of super air filtration filter that you can plug on your face and walk around the planet or something.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
do you have fucking stockpiles of food and animals and everything else that you would need to
why do you think we're
last year?
Why do you think we're $18 trillion in debt?
That's a possibility. But here's another factor that needs to be considered. Something this big coming at us could knock us out of the orbit that we are presently in. possibly knocking us further away from the sun to the point where it fucking turns this entire planet into a giant ice ball. At which point, everybody, including the globalists, are dead because everything's fucking frozen.
Do you know if we were knocked a fraction of a degree off of our axis, that we would die?
Exactly.
I mean, it could cause the Earth to spin faster, which would make gravity harder, or, harsher, which would crush us alive against it, like flies on a windshield.
Yeah. Well, even if that didn't happen, or fuck it, just caused this planet to die entirely, just from impact, like the scenario of the core, you fucking nick the core and it fucking stops spinning and everything goes out of whack. What if it gets knocked further away from the sun? The planet fucking freezes over, everybody's dead. Or what if it's coming from the opposite direction and knocks us closer to the sun, at which point everything is incinerated, all life on this planet is dead, all animals, all plants, the water is evaporated, no oxygen, even if you're hiding in a fucking hole, you're going to eventually die. Even if you're hiding several thousand or hundreds of thousands of feet underground, eventually you're gonna fucking die because there's no plants for oxygen, no water to sustain life.
Actually, most of our oxygen comes from the ocean, the algae in the ocean, just saying. But if the water's evaporated,
it's all evaporated.
Right. It's going to kill off the
no oxygen, no water or plants to produce oxygen. Everything is dead. This planet is completely incinerated. All life is going to die, and eventually, even if the globalists don't die right away, eventually they will die. So the most logical solution, thank you, would be to prevent this sumbitch from
ever hitting Earth.
And I understand.
But here's my here's my thing about destroying that thing. Okay, reports on this 923 DLE event, as far as the comet is concerned, has been stated as, we do not possess a missile of the right magnitude to even destroy or knock this asteroid or comet off its course towards Earth enough to keep it from killing all the life on Earth. I mean, we can launch as many missiles as we want, but if this thing is made out of fucking unknown metals and rock that we may or may not have knowledge of, who's to say that these missiles are even going to work? I mean, we can launch a nuke at it, but what's the nuke going to do? It's going to destroy whatever's on the outside of it, not the rock itself, because nukes detonate over.
But what about knocking it off course? If you launch a nuke
to the side of it and then push it away.
Yeah, the blast itself would probably be enough to knock it off course so that it totally bypasses. That's a distinct possibility. Just the force alone could fucking knock off its trajectory. You don't need to necessarily destroy this thing. Just change its course.
My thing is that we need to start acting now if this is the case. We need to start doing our homework on whether or not these nukes are going to have enough force, or these missiles are going to have enough force to knock it off of course. Because if you think about it, even if it doesn't knock it off of course, then what are we going to do? We're going to have to try to break it up into pieces so that it burns away in the atmosphere and causes less damage. So, at which point, we need to act now. We need to start launching shit at it now, so that way we can figure out whether or not it's going to knock it off course enough. I mean, who cares if it takes all of the missiles in our arsenal to fucking knock it off course? Why don't we all launch missiles at the same exact time? Okay, to detonate in the same exact place, to cause an explosion to the magnitude that we're going to need. Also, we have fusion technology too, to where we can cause propulsion from nothing. Okay, so you put like a fusion generator on the end of a rocket or a missile of some sort, and you detonate that motherfucker in the in outer space, that may cause enough, because it's like one atom created another atom that split another atom that created another atom that split that atom, and so on and so forth. The chain event keeps going and going and going until there's no more creation of atoms, at which point it can cause enough push and propulsion to knock it off course.
Yeah, I mean, there are distinct possibilities, provided there's even a comet or an asteroid heading our way in the first place.
Right.
Which I personally don't think there is, because in all likelihood we would have seen signs of it by now.
We have
seen
seen signs of it. Our military has been moving around our arsenals of missiles by disguising it as equipment convoys that are being moved around, personnel convoys that are being moved around. We see it all the time. We discuss it all the time, dude.
Yeah.
215 freeway here in California, north-southbound, we always see movement of military personnel. Every time we go down to Hemet, do we not see movement?
Yeah, we do.
So,
but
I mean,
for any number of reasons, it doesn't necessarily mean...
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, but it could be because of the comet, too. I mean, you can't rule out the possibility that they're not moving our arsenals around to stop this from happening in the first place.
Well, if this is going to happen, why is the President and the Pope going to be meeting here in the United States? Why is the President meeting still on U.S. soil? And
who knows if he's on U.S. soil? Nobody knows the whereabouts of the President except for the Secret Service at any given time. So
I just see too many holes with this scenario.
I agree. I'm just arguing a point.
Yeah. I see your point, but here's the thing. You know, if this thing is going to hit on or around the 23rd, why would the Pope come here? Especially if everybody else is fleeing the United States, all the freaking rich motherfuckers are getting the fuck up out of Dodge. Why would the Pope come here? Unless he wants to get hit with a comet.
Well, he's not the brightest fucking bulb in the box either. I don't know if you know that. He's more of a celebrity figurehead at this point because the other Pope stood down and he took his place, which constitutes as the religious conversation we're going to have too. I don't want to change subjects just yet.
Get into it, then.
Okay,
let's do that.
Well, the Pope that is in office right now is supposed to be the false prophet. Okay, it says in the Bible that whatever number Pope, what is he? What Pope is he? Do you know?
I don't know.
Number 13 or something like that. My wife knows, and she's in the shower right now. So, this Pope is supposed to be the false prophet, the guy who leads, the faith in the wrong direction. Okay, the guy that is supposed to be like the one sign of the start of the apocalypse or the revelations or the end of days, whatever you want to call it, whatever belief system you believe in, And if that's the case, then that makes Obama, if he's coming over to meet Obama, and what that girl said in her dream, if it comes to pass, then we're looking at Obama being not necessarily the Antichrist, but a very evil figurehead.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the false prophet coming over to meet with Obama, and according to this girl's dream, she said everybody was standing there, Obama was giving a speech, he turned to speak to the Pope for a second, they were whispering something in each other's ears, then there was this big flash of light, and there was a bunch of chaos, confusion, and destruction, and that the Pope and Obama both turned into something. She didn't specify because she wasn't sure, but she said it was a demon or an alien or something.
Creature of some sort.
Yeah, another creature of some sort. Which brings me to another point too that we should discuss on as well, which we'll touch on, after we discuss the religious aspect of things here. Wolf was telling me in a private message on Facebook that they're going to be unveiling the fact that there is extraterrestrial life that has existed for a long period of time now, and that they're going to be revealing this fact. Now, I don't know how much clout I can hold in this. I mean, Wolf seems like a pretty straight shooter to me, but I haven't seen or heard anything about it. But we can discuss that after the religious thing here.
Yeah, well, go ahead into the religious thing, because you seem to have a solid direction in which you want to take this and roll with it.
Well, the thing that I was getting at is that this is the, I don't know what number, Pope, 13th or whatever, and he's supposed to be the false prophet, which is one of the signs of Revelations, and I know I've said that already, just reiterating the fact. I wish I knew what Bible verse it was in and all that, but you could probably look it up on Google or whatever, and
go ahead and reference it in the comment section if you know or how to find that information.
Yeah, but this is like one of the leading signs to the end of days. What are your views and thoughts on the end of days and Revelations and the signs we're seeing so far? I mean, we hear about fires from the sky. We hear about these thundering voices of the angels, hail and fire and destruction, and I'm not talking pre-trib. I'm talking straight up fucking
signs of the end of days.
Yeah, on the religious
all this
aspect.
stuff was talked about in Revelations: wars, rumors of wars, famines, starvation, droughts, odd weather patterns. I mean, all kinds of shit.
Which we're already experiencing droughts.
I mean, a lot of people will argue that this shit has always been going on, but since we have things like the internet, television, radio, it's more out in the public eye, which is probably true. But what about the war aspects? Granted, we have always had wars, but not ever on this scale.
Right.
It seems like we've got a new war going on with a new enemy every week.
Well, it seems like we got a new main agenda as far as war is concerned with every new president that comes into office.
Yeah. I mean, first Al-Qaeda, then Saddam Hussein,
and
Taliban,
I don't know if
ISIS, and ISIL, and this group, and that group.
And I don't understand why, if this comet is coming or the end of days is coming and these people know about it, why we're still holding presidential elections, why we're still paying our taxes.
That's another point.
I mean, why are we still doing the same old fucking bullshit every day when we have something bigger and more important to worry about on a global scale?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that doesn't make sense. Too many fucking holes in that scenario, and I don't think that a comet is the result to 923. I don't think that's the end result. And even in the Bible, it doesn't talk about a fucking comet wiping out all life on this planet. I mean, whether you're
the only thing the Bible says about exterminating all life on Earth is that God will never do it by water again. That's all it says. That's what the rainbow stands for.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I digress there, but if we are in fact in the end times, God laid out exactly how this shit was going to go down.
Right.
You'd have all the signs and the warnings and the tests and all that shit, and then the rapture would occur where the dead would rise and the living and the dead, or where they would rise up into the sky and meet Jesus and all that shit. It'd be a pretty evident event. And then you would have the wrath of God that would follow and exterminate the wicked from the earth, ushering in the 1,000-year reign of peace of Jesus Christ. Now, whether you're religious or not, that's for you to decide. But if in fact the Bible is true and God does exist and all that fun shit, you have to take into account that such a notion of a comet or a world-ending event of similar magnitude would not be the case as far as the end times and Revelations are concerned, because it says nothing about shit like that. It gives a very clear outline of how things are going to fucking play out.
Right. So we can rule out religion as being one of the speculated, Revelation type ending events. You can rule it out. And like I said, thou shalt not know the time or date that I come in. You know, that statement alone right there just wipes out the theory on the 923 thing to begin with.
Yeah, when he comes, it'll be evident that he's come.
Or that he is coming.
Yeah.
To such a degree that there's no denying it.
Yeah. When he's here, you'll know he's here. There's going to be no doubts about it.
Right.
You know, you see a lot of those movies where the rapture occurs and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. But the Bible makes it very clear that you will know exactly what's going on because the dead rose into the sky with the righteous living to meet Jesus in the sky. I mean, it was going to be an evident event. There was going to be no question about it. It's like, okay, this is what fucking happened.
Right.
So, that, like you said, the idea of this being related to the Bible does not apply. And if, in the event that there is a comet, it will probably, more than likely, break up in the atmosphere, especially given how much pollution there is in the atmosphere compared to 65 million years ago.
Yeah, but it's not about the pollution in the atmosphere that breaks it up. It's about the re-entry. It causes shit to light on fire and burn up.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that 2.5 miles of comet, I mean, that's a big fucking rock headed towards Earth, okay?
Yeah, but they talked about it in The Simpsons before, a while back. Remember when Bart found that comet, and he even named it, and then it was headed towards Earth.
But
everybody went and ran and hid in Flanders' bunker. And Homer made the prediction that it'll likely burn up in the atmosphere because of that and all the carbon pollution and everything. It would break up and result in something no bigger than a chihuahua's head.
Yeah, but the thing of
that's exactly what happened. So, like, going back to the number 23 and everything else, you know, that could have been a fucking warning sign as well. That whole episode could have been a fucking
something 2.5
preview thing.
Something 2.5 miles wide, though, and if we've known about this since The Simpsons aired, I mean, how come we haven't found out about it since then? Plus, whether it was a warning sign or not, 2.5 miles of comet is not going to burn up in the atmosphere. I mean, we have meteorites and comets hitting the fucking Earth all the time that, you know, researchers go and collect for, you know, scientific research and stuff like that. So we know that things can get through. So the size of this comet is not going to burn up completely. It is going to make it through our atmosphere and it's going to hit us.
Yeah, but it probably won't be to the degree that people are speculating. It won't be a life-ending event. It'll probably break up to the point where it's going to cause substantial damage. Granted, probably even on a very large scale. But as far as a life-ending event, I don't think so. Probably kick the living crap out of humanity.
As far as my
destroy it.
Yeah, and as far as my beliefs take me, I don't believe that there's a comet heading for Earth that's going to destroy all of humanity anyway. My beliefs tell me that the rapture is going to happen, and I don't see any signs of that even coming to pass. Not in my lifetime.
Well, you have to have the 3-year reign of the Antichrist and the mark of the beast and all that shit taking place first.
Right.
The war against the saints. You know, granted, we are in the early stages of it, but it really hasn't come to head yet. You'd have the 3-year reign of the Antichrist.
It's still kind of festering before the pimple pops.
Yeah, exactly.
The pimple is still festering. It hasn't even come to a head to where it's about to burst yet.
So this isn't even a biblical event, unless you really want to just apply the fire from the sky, at which point comet breaking up and causing a whole mess of damage.
Right.
A fucking meteor storm. However you want to fucking look at it.
Right.
Or it could be something totally fucking different. You know, maybe it's a fucking man-made catastrophe, false flag terrorism.
Which is what a
bigger scale.
Which is what I was getting at in this whole discussion, was that maybe it's another 9/11 that's going to happen. Maybe that's the warning, because we saw the warning signs for 9/11 after 9/11 happened. Now we're seeing the warning signs before this is happening. Maybe they're using it as a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Maybe they're using it as a warning sign to those who are awake to get the fuck up out of Dodge. Who fucking knows? I mean, at that point in time, we won't know until the 23rd comes around, and that's kind of what I'm getting
But
at.
even people have speculated that things are going to happen on various dates, and that things don't happen. I mean, we've been down this road before.
Right.
And it was just scare tactic bullshit. 2012, nothing fucking happened. Here we are nearly 4 years later.
You actually did a transmission on that where you stood by a cemetery.
Oh, that was the Harold Camping thing where he fucking made his predictions, and everybody was wigging out. Everybody, a whole mess of people who followed this cocksucker were wigging out. Oh, it's the end of the world. Harold Camping said so. I stood in a fucking cemetery practically all fucking day and fucking started recording at what I thought would be the most likely time. 6 minutes and 6 seconds after 6 o'clock. And nothing happened. You know, again, we're all still here. So it's probably just more scare tactic bullshit.
I mean, where did this life-ending conspiracy start? I mean, did it start with the Y2K bullshit? I mean, we talked back in the day.
There you go.
Y2K that was going to knock us back into the Stone Age. Nothing happened. I mean, there was 1 minute that was unaccounted for where shit was reset.
Yeah.
In the global databases and computer systems and stuff like that, but 1 minute doesn't account for life-altering, changing events, or extinction events, at that matter. It happened at midnight. I don't know if you ever did any research on that, but
yes, I did.
Yeah, but it happened at midnight, where for 1 minute, everything went offline. Everything did. And
sorry, I was lip locking with my girlfriend when that happened.
But we're talking.
Hey, gotta usher in the new year with the New Year's kiss, right?
Absolutely. But I mean, did it start with Y2K, or were there conspiracies before that? Do you know?
There were always conspiracies. I mean, you've had Jehovah's Witnesses make predictions. You've had this religion make predictions. You've had this.
Don't even bring up Jehovah's Witnesses.
I mean, well, every religious group has made predictions or assumptions about when the world is going to end.
Yeah, but Jehovah's Witnesses believe that Jesus Christ created the earth. And it clearly states in any Bible you pick up on the first line, God created the heavens and the earth. It says it in the first line of Genesis. I mean, you can't misinterpret that.
Well, it also says, let us do this and let us create man in our image and shit like that. So it could have been God and Jesus working in conjunction, which is possible. We weren't there, so... And if we were there, we clearly can't account for it at this point.
I don't think it says let us. Because God said let us.
It says let us create man in our image.
What do you know what chapter that is? So I
can
read it real quick.
That is the first chapter of Genesis.
The first chapter. All right. I got right here a King James version of the Bible. It's sitting on my quote unquote.
This is standard King James. This isn't an LDS Bible. This isn't a Jehovah's Witness Holy Scriptures Bible.
You said it's in the first chapter?
Yeah, it's when God goes to create man.
God made the firmament. Let the waters under the heaven be gathered in one place, and let the dry land appear. God said, let the earth bring forth grass. God said, let there be lights. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly a moving creature that have life. God created great whales. God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply. God saw that it was good. God said, let there bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping things, beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. Yeah, it does say that. It's actually Genesis 1:26, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Okay, so it's chapter 2. Then.
But it also says, no, that's page 2. Genesis
oh yeah, you have
1:26.
chapter 2. Yeah. Okay,
But it says after that it says, so God created man in His own image.
Yeah.
Whether it's let us or whatever, it says that God created man in His own image, not that God created man in Jesus Christ's image and God's image.
Yeah.
In fact, let me. I want to reread that because. Okay, it says, and God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." Okay, maybe he's having a conversation with Jesus at this point, but it says the following verse after that, the 27th verse of Genesis. In the first chapter says, so God created man in His own image.
Yeah.
And in the image of God created He him. Male and female created He them.
Were we going somewhere with this? Or did we just get off on a tangent?
We got off on a tangent because you were saying how all religions have their own views and opinions about where the end of days are going to come from, and you spouted off the fucking Jehovah's Witnesses, and I was like, don't even say anything about them because they say that Jesus created the earth and the heavens and all that. And I'm like, no. So even if it said
regardless of what you believe,
right?
You know who did what. You know the end story is always the same.
Colonel Mustard in the library with the wrench.
There you go. It's always Colonel Mustard in the library with the wrench. Okay? And it doesn't happen anywhere else or any sooner.
Right?
It's always when the light goes out.
Exactly. 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 That's funny. Anyway.
Yeah, let's get back on point because I can go into a whole other direction.
Right.
I'm going to let it pass.
Right. But the point of the whole conversation here being is that there is an undisputed time that we will understand and know. Undisputedly, that without doubt, without speculation, that it is going to be the end of days. Can you hear me right?
Yeah.
And
like I said, when it happens, there's going to be no doubt of what the fuck is going on.
Right. So, anyway, that's about all we got for those subjects. But I wanted to discuss the thing that Wolf had said about aliens or other beings of life on Earth that have been around for a while, that they're going to be coming out and saying that they do exist. All of a sudden. And I also wanted to touch on another aspect, but we'll get to that in a minute. We as conspiracy theorists have to...
I don't like that term conspiracy theorist. That's a derogatory term.
Okay, we as political activists have to entertain the fact that...
we have to explore every option.
We have to explore every option, okay? And if that's the case, we have to give credence to the fact that there is possibility of life on other planets or somewhere out there in other universes, and that we have come in contact with them at some point in time, whether they were just passing by, whether they crash landed on our planet because their ships were bad, or they got in a space battle of some sort with another alien race.
We came to this planet looking for intelligent life. Oops, you made a mistake.
But Wolf says that I didn't delve in too deep in conversation with him. It was late at night. I had just taken my medicine. I was kind of tired. And I asked him, I said, when did this happen? And he never got back to me. There might be a message in my inbox right now from him. I have no clue. I haven't been on Facebook. But he said that they're going to be coming out telling us that there is really life other than human beings, intelligent life other than human beings, and dolphins, that exists. What are your views and opinions on that?
Okay, why is it even relevant unless these I mean, there's all kinds of theories surrounding the whole alien agenda. I mean, we've discussed this before with the Gods, Government, and Aliens series that we did a while back.
Right.
I mean, what would be the initial point in having this all come out at this present time?
Maybe because that's when they're coming out with it, is 9/23.
Coming out of the fucking closet.
Yeah, who fucking knows? Maybe that's when they're going to drop the bomb on us about there being intelligent life is 9/23. Maybe the Pope knows about it, and that's why he's coming to meet with Obama. Maybe he has to lead his flock in a religious manner, so that, because I mean, if there's intelligent life on other planets, that's going to blow Christianity and religion out of the water. There's going to be no reason why there should be intelligent life on any other planet, other than the fact that.
Well, I think that American Dad kind of explained that pretty well when they did their whole end of the world spiel in one of their episodes. When Jesus walks up to the alien and goes, "Hey, you're one of my father's side projects."
Yeah, maybe he has other places and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
how come he doesn't leave mention of that in the Bible? How come he didn't?
Maybe it was, and that's information that was suppressed by the Catholic Church or the Vatican.
Yeah, there is, 23 books that are not in the Bible or some shit?
There's 11 books, either 7 or 11 books from the Old Testament that were removed from the Bible during the Martin Luther Protestant movement. But even so, that doesn't mention anything of extraterrestrial life.
And by the way, guys,
But you got at least 50 miles of catacombs containing writings that the world has never seen.
And by the way, guys, when he says Martin Luther, he means the white dude that started the Protestant movement. He doesn't mean Martin Luther King, okay?
Yeah, if I say Martin Luther, it means Martin Luther from the 1500s.
Right.
If I'm referencing Martin Luther King, I will say Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, just to clarify, because I don't want you guys to say, oh, these people say that Martin Luther King is the guy who started the Protestant movement. No. This guy started the Protestant movement in the 1500s. He's a white guy and has nothing to do with or has any connection to Martin Luther King or Martin Luther King Jr. in any way. Maybe they're distant relatives or something, I don't know. But,
don't care.
yeah.
It's not important to this topic.
Right, that's just all I wanted to say on that matter. But anyway, you were saying that when he started the Protestant movement, that
Yeah, the writings that were removed didn't pertain to extraterrestrial life or anything like that. But what about the other writings that are contained within the 50 miles of catacombs under Vatican City?
I say we break into Vatican City and start stealing some of those somehow. Let's make that an op.
There you go. Go Nuts Anonymous, break into the Vatican.
Operation Steal Back our scrolls from a religious group that has no right to them to begin with.
Well, if there's information that needs to come out, then that information should come out. Maybe that's what they're planning to do on the 23rd. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, there's plenty of different things that we could think of. It could be a terrorist attack. It could be, like I said, another 9/11 thing. It could be the end of the world. It could be numerous amounts of different possibilities.
It could be Barack Obama coming out of the closet and admitting that Michelle is actually a man.
Right? Who knows what it's going to be? I mean, we have speculation to believe and reason to believe that it may be the end of days because of all the signs and bullshit that we see in Revelations and the correlations we're making with the weather change.
I don't think it'll be an end of days event. I think, worst case scenario is going to be an event that affects the whole world but doesn't end life on Earth. It could be another terrorist attack.
It could be something, like he said, something that affects everybody on Earth. It could be the New World Order agenda coming into play. Who fucking knows?
That could be the day that they announce it.
Right.
Any number of things could happen. But I don't even know where else we can really go with this at this point, so...
Agreed.
Why don't we just leave it at that and pick it up with the roundtable discussion next week? Anybody who wants to jump in beforehand, go ahead.
And
start
anything,
discussions in the
and
comments
anything you heard in this transmission, if you guys want to, leave comments and more information for us, I mean, we do our research to the best of our abilities, but sometimes we miss stuff. So
Yeah.
if there's something you guys have to add or want to add, you can meet us on the roundtable discussion on Saturday. When are we going to do that? Do we have a time
We'll do
yet?
it about 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So that everybody can join in.
This next Saturday, a week from today.
And like we said before, guys, we're going to do this once a month, so please join in on the discussion. Give us your comments and questions that you have posted on this video, on any roundtable discussion, or any video for that matter. We get notifications for it, and we're more than apt to address these issues and comments and concerns that you guys may have, whether it's about us and the show that we do, or if it's about
The topic of discussion.
or things that may or may not be relevant to topic discussion, or if there's something you would like for us to investigate and really research on and touch points on, please let us know. I mean, we're here to help enlighten and waken people up, not to suppress.
Yeah, so if you've got anything that you feel you can contribute or that would help, by all means, shout it up and let us know. Till next time, I'm the Tin Man.
And I'm Lucid.
I think this is as far as we can go, so till Saturday, peace out.
See you then.